Oh, here we go. The man with the
The good,
perm, right?
yes, the good Reverend Al Sharpton.
Sharpton.
He
I
just
didn't I
said,
didn't march with MLK and
okay,
everybody. I'm
okay,
still around.
he just said powerful black men like Diddy and Tyler Perry are targeted by the feds. And you know what? He's probably right. But you know what, Al? Tell us something we don't know. This is not a big secret. All right, folks, welcome to our channel where we break down the week's hottest topics in the media and pop culture. I'm Cy, and that's Darneshia over there. This week, we're going to start with Ashanti and Nelly. And let me be clear, and let me say this real loud, folks, real loud. I think I like this Hollywood couple. I got a little respect for them because for once, we got two celebrities making grown people's decisions, keeping their child out of the spotlight. You know, we usually don't
Yes.
see that. And I mean completely out. No
Out.
name reveals, no baby pictures, nothing sold to TMZ, no fake family vlog channel. I wish all celebrities did this. Okay, your kids should be your kids. They should have privacy until they're 18. Okay, stop giving these people content crack where everybody pimping out their children. But Ashanti and Nelly, they just broke the matrix. They said
Hey, they
no.
did some grown folks stuff, Si.
They said, no, our baby is not for entertainment purposes only. And I love it. And that's another level of discipline most people in their position just don't have. They do not have it, folks. Some people be craving to show off their kids. And there's nothing wrong with being proud of your kids and wanting to show them off. But when you're a celebrity, there are some crazy folks out there. You need to keep your kids private and stop being a viral punchline.
Protect it.
Okay? Exactly. And let me say this. We've seen it 1,000 times, folks. And I said every chance, let's stop worshiping these toxic celebrities and be proud of Ashanti and Nelly, who chose to be parents, grown adults. And that's going to be our first topic. What do you think of that, Darneshia?
Well, I mean, not only that, like you said, grown adults, but also, when he was talking about, hey, performing for number 47, right? He said, hey, I'm just trying to get my bag for my family. He was honest and just said, hey, look, I got to eat too and I need to get fed. I think that is some grown folks stuff that the two of them are doing. They're not fighting, they're not fussing, and they're keeping their child private and out of the limelight of everything. The child didn't ask to be brought into this. Yes, they are celebrities. This is what mom and dad does, but it doesn't mean that I'm out here to be pawned or to be portioned out per se. I.e. Blue
Exactly.
Ivy.
And we're so proud of them. Now, our next topic is Michelle Obama. Okay? She said she's glad she didn't have a boy. Yeah, that's what she said, folks. Come on. Go look it up. She said, yeah.
She said yes, and I'm sorry to interrupt you because I got a side on this one. We're so busy wanting to take stuff out of context lately, honestly. What she said in the whole interview, but that she talked about first and foremost, she should have never even addressed what the caller was saying, because the caller called in and said that she had a 17-year-old son that plays football, and she was worried about the fact that it would be so masculine, so masculating of what he does. What she simply said was, raise your children to know and to recognize, to recognize things. Raise him to be able to know how to be pulled over by a cop, and recognize them to be able, or I shouldn't say recognize him, teach him to be pulled over by a cop, and teach him on how to treat a wife or treat a woman and these different things. She simply was saying this is what she does with her girls, right? And she then says that if she would have had a quote unquote son, it would basically have been a junior Barack Obama. It was not that, hey, I'm glad I didn't have a son because it would have been, a Barack Obama. She was only saying that I would have had a little mini mead of Barack. Just like her two children might be a mini mead of Michelle or a mini mead of President Barack Obama. Period. So I gotta stop you on that one side because a lot of stuff that's being said with Michelle Obama is being, I believe, taken out of context, and they're just rolling with the fact of the media. Oh, a black woman, let's put her up here. She didn't show up at the funeral. Let's put her up. Let's put her up. Good, bad, and indifferent. What you got?
And there's Darneshia take on it, and that's what Darneshia's a black woman taking up for a black woman. But I'm not gonna take up for her. Exactly what you said. She said she didn't want to have a little Barack Obama. And that would be okay if this was an isolated incident, but it's been too many times she's been taking little jabs at a little Barack Obama. She's been taking too many jabs, and she should be media trained. She should know people take stuff out of context, especially in today's world. See, there was one she used to represent strength, grace on the global stage. I had a lot of respect for Michelle as a first lady. Yes, I did. She held it down, but now she's just another out-of-touch celebrity with a podcast, talking slick. Now, I'm not saying she fooled Darneshia, because Darneshia likes her. And I used to like Barney, and I don't dislike her. I'm just saying she has to read the room and know what's going on. When you go online, you see a lot of young women talking about if they had a black boy, they would give it up for adoption. They would abort it. That black men need to be eliminated. And this ain't a joke. There are a lot of women talking like this online. And for her to be in the position that she is in, a lot of women look up to her, and they should. Okay, this is a black woman from the south side of Chicago who graduated from Harvard. There's nothing wrong with that. But come on, Michelle. Come on, sister. You can't just make careless comments. You have to know people will take it out of context. Okay, some people will understand that not everybody's like Darneshia. Okay, and understand what you're trying to say. And you know me, I'm going to be looking, because you're a celebrity to me now, and I'm going to be looking for the worst in you. Okay, that's just it. So the gloves is off. From now on, your name is Randall. That's what I'm going to call you, Randall. Because there are too many black sons out here dodging bullets every day, taking real chances in life, and now you want to sit up there and say, you glad you didn't have a little black boy? And I understand what you were saying. You didn't want a boy who has to live up to Obama. But what's wrong with that? What's wrong with living up to Obama? That's a challenge. A lot of young men like challenges. And I know, Darneshia, you don't agree with that, but that's okay.
That's all
You got
right.
anything else to say on this topic?
We all have our opinions, Si, and I'm always gonna be down for the black and the brown. I'm just saying, whether you right, wrong, or indifferent, I'm always gonna be down for the brown.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Now, speaking of little black babies, on to the next topic. So
Yeah,
DDG, you know the rapper DDG, he won a
yes.
little custody battle against Halle Bailey. And so let that sink in. The same DDG folks like to clown, and sometimes he deserve it. He's out here talking about, this man said he understands what Michael Jackson went through with fame. He really think he is famous as Michael Jackson. He do not understand that. So stop it, dude. Stop it. Come back down to reality and live your life. But I'm glad that he is fighting for his son, because a lot of young men just give up when they got a woman who is trying to stop them from seeing their kids. A lot of men give up. And so when a woman has whatever the man did, whether he was cheating or he was a bad boyfriend or spouse, a boy needs his daddy. And I don't understand why she doesn't understand that. Why are you trying to keep this son away from his daddy? Okay, are you secretly thinking like Michelle Obama that you didn't want a boy? Now,
Don't start.
don't
Don't
get it.
start. Because I mean, come on. There's an age difference between this child and her children, right around back onto the Nelly thing and the Ashanti thing, right? I mean, again, it's maturity. It's about maturity. Here it is. This is your child. We are here to raise the child. See, because we've all been 4 months, 6 months, and what have you, and we had parents that raised us, or a parent that raised us. This bull ass mess that they're doing is just ridiculous. Raise your son and raise him correctly. You're sitting up here talking about, oh, we got in an altercation where he chipped her, pushed her on, slammed her on the hood of the car, chipped her tooth, scratches all on her and everything. What the hell are you doing? I mean, honestly, what are you doing out there trying to get your son, or trying to move your son around, or whatever the case may be? And not only that, why is all of this out in the open? open for everyone to know and to see. Raise your son. All I have to say. The two of you get mature and raise your son. Period.
Exactly. And you as a young man, yes, of course, usually everything is stacked against you when it comes to kids. Okay? The system favors women, and a lot of times it should favor women. A lot of times the women are more responsible than the man, especially young men. Okay, but I like it. He didn't cry. He didn't play victim. He gathered his receipts, stood firm, went to war, prepared himself for battle. Because it's going to be a battle because she's a big time celebrity. And I believe she has the machine behind her.
She does.
Because when she
has, yes, she does have that clout behind her. But also, like you said, and a lot of times, hey, I'm probably going to get bashed for this, but I'm sorry. At some point in time, when a young man becomes a man, or 8, 9, 10, again, I'm a woman, so I don't know. He needs to be with his father. As a mother or as a woman, I can't teach somebody how to be a man. I don't know what this or that feels like in non-sexual terms per se, because I don't want to get banned from here. But but still, like I said, my thing is that again, we need to start looking at what is best for the child and the situation.
Yes, indeed. And when you're in a situation like this is a warning to the what? Be wise, document everything, protect yourself, because once that baby is born, it's no longer about you. It's about the child. And many times, a lot of men just disappear, but this man refusing to disappear. And that's a good thing, folks. And now to our next topic.
Oh, here we go. The man with the
The
perm,
good,
right?
yes, the good Reverend Al Sharpton.
Sharpton.
He
I
just
didn't
said,
march with MLK and
okay,
everybody. I'm
okay,
still around.
he just said powerful black men like Diddy and Tyler Perry are targeted by the feds. And you know what? He's probably right. But you know what, Al? Tell us something we don't know. This is not a big secret. Okay? Where have you been? Okay, you should have been saying this for a long time ago. We all know the system don't like rich, loud black men who trying to take control of the media, who have influence and money. We get it. But let's be honest, Al.
Unless they're on the payroll of the federal agencies. Can we talk
Exactly.
about
Like
that,
some of them,
Sky?
hey, some of them are on the payroll. And
Like
some of
I
these
said,
leaders are on the payroll too.
like I
I
said,
mean,
see, hey, how sharp is the Sharpton? Okay, I'm just asking
okay.
because yeah, you want to put that out after all these years? Come on now, we know.
Most of these religious leaders, they only show up for the camera to say a little few slick lines, then they disappear into the next photo op. We all know this. They've been doing it forever. They don't really. And by the way, why is the black community the only community with religious leaders? What kind of mess is that? Okay, they preach, they march, they pose, they speak, but what have they built? Do they really build anything that's lasting? And now he's speaking on to defend Diddy and Tyler Perry, two celebrities that we don't know that might end up being criminals. I'm just saying. So
Well,
to you
I have.
powerful,
I have a question. I mean, if that was the case, where was he at R. Kelly? Where was he at Woods? Tiger Woods. I'm just saying. I mean, all of those were black men, right?
they
Being
might not
shamed
be on
by
his
the
payroll
system.
like P. Diddy and Tyler Perry got a lot of people on their payroll.
Hey, I'm not mad at you. Get your bag, as they say.
Okay. And
Just
it's a
don't sell
shame
us
that the
out in the
media
process.
and it's a shame that the media labeled these men as black leaders. And I'm not saying they're not leaders of their own organizations, but for decades they put these men in the spotlight. And yeah, they helped individual people. They helped out their organizations. But where was they? Where was he speaking out when the bank stopped giving business set-aside loans to everybody but us? Where was you at then, Al? And by the way, Al, the hair's still looking good, man. You're in shape. Proud of you. You don't look like Rotunda anymore. Okay? You still got the perm. You're still doing your thing. But I remember I seen you in D.C. when I spoke at the Black Caucus many, many years ago. You remember that, Al? But all I got to say is this. How come other communities, they be having real leaders, sociologists, psychologists, architects, political scientists, economics, all working in think tanks to help solutions. Meanwhile, the black community, you know what we get? People that help us pray for a better day. Keep hope alive. Okay, keep hope alive. That's all I got to say on that, Darneshia. Now, speaking of Al protecting somebody, this is our last topic for the week. And yes, it's the diddler, P. Diddy. He didn't take the stand. Nah, he didn't do that. He chose to be silent. And I don't blame him. But the feds are calling out him for witness tampering, obstruction of justice. They said all this during the closing arguments. The prosecutors laid it out. Allegedly used the phone, text, his crew to influence witnesses after Cassie and so-called Jane came forward, took the stand. Now they saying he's using his money to shut people up. Now this ain't nothing new. This is not anything new. Okay, but the federal people, they just dropped a lot of the charges. And you know why they dropped a lot of the charges? Because they trying to make sure the jury, to make it easy for the jury to convict him on something. Because if he walk on everything, this is going to make them look bad. Very bad. You understand what I'm saying, Darneshia?
Yes, like you said, they dropped a lot of stuff. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what comes out of this. It truly will be. Again, I know, like you said, sometimes we have to move in silence. I really wish that a lot of times we would move in silence because, again, what you may do or may have done out there in the open may affect somebody in the silence, right? And meaning where they may be silenced for a day, a lifetime, or whatever it is. But I think that we as Black folks, our African American folks, that sometimes we need to sit down and just be silent. Peace be still. Just sit down and be silent.
Especially when you know they on your tails. But it's like I always told my sons, and I got this from my grandmother, and this is something P. Diddy and all you young men out there need to listen to if you're listening. Don't ever do anything with a young woman that degrades her, even if she wants it at the time. Because she may feel differently later and have those after the fact tears. Y'all know how I call it, after the fact tears. Okay, this is why you never talk a woman into doing anything, especially young women. Now, older women, they usually know what they want. They know what they like, and they'll tell you straight up if it ain't cool. But sometimes them younger women, they get confused and frozen, and you sitting up there thinking you doing something smooth and stuff, talking to her into doing something she may not really want to do and just do it out of fear or whatever the reason she ended up doing it, and later on, it can come back to haunt you. How many men, I know some brothers right now sitting in prison because they would pull a train on a woman, and all of a sudden the daddy came home. And what do you think happened? Okay, to save grace, it was better for her to be a victim. Now, I'm not saying Cassie did this, because I don't know how she felt. But I know this, Cassie, and to all the people out there, she looked better as a victim than she does a 304 who like to get piss in her mouth. I know that. And I hope that's not too rude. What do you think of that, Darneshia?
Hey, you said what you said, Cy. It's your show. Let it fly.
Okay, and Hugh Hefner went to the same thing. He had all these young women around, which was crazy because he was like 97 years old, dealing with these 30 women in their 20s and 30s. He should have known better. But after he died, all those women came forward. Where was those women when he was alive? Did they feel differently after he died? Huh?
But let's take the difference. Look at the difference, like you said, not trying to be funny. Again, hey, I like to say it like this. Cats cover their shit, dogs don't, okay? I'm just saying. So, sorry for the cussing, but what I'm saying is that Hugh took care of his stuff because there wasn't nothing coming up with him while he was alive. It all came out afterwards, right? I haven't seen any receipts from him. I haven't seen any videos. I haven't seen anyone being dragged down out the mansion or anything else. So come on now. I mean, you got enough money to get a fall guy, to get somebody to be on your tip telling you, look, bro, I'm telling you, this is how it needs to roll, or this is what you need to do, period. And again,
and that's why he had real security around him when P. Diddy got homeboys from his neighborhood working for him, people coming out of prison. Stop being cheap. It's gonna come back to bite you, man. See, the problem with Diddy is a lot of people want to see him locked up because of the history of how he treated people. All his artists he treated bad. Most people in his walkway he treated bad. He's treated everybody bad. There's no doubt about that. And some people
Yeah.
even think he responsible for unaliving a lot of people out there.
Yes.
Okay?
To make
A
room
lot
in
of
the
people feel
industry.
that.
That's what they're saying.
Exactly. And that hotel video, like Darneshia mentioned, that's not a good look. But that's not what he's on trial for. It's almost like OJ. OJ was found not guilty, but they locked him up later for retrieving his own shit. Okay, R. Kelly. Y'all know I did a video on R. Kelly. And I'm not saying R. Kelly's innocent. And he should have been locked up for what he did to Aaliyah. He should have been locked up for what he did to that young girl when he was peeing on her. Yes, he should have been locked up, but he got away with it. But what he's in prison for now, he shouldn't be in prison for now. He's in prison because somebody made a documentary. And we got to stop this later on judgment and just being happy someone getting locked up, because that's how they always done us. There used to be times in this country, and it probably still gone, where a black man committed a crime and they couldn't find the black man who committed the crime, so they just locked up any black man. The first black man they seen and locked him up, and they felt good about it. And see, this is why I don't feel good about it. I'm not saying I like R. Kelly. I'm not saying I like OJ. I'm not saying I like P. Diddy. But I'm saying we got to get away from this type of Johnny-come-lately justice. Okay, they get away with stuff all the time. But nobody go after them later on. But it's like if you get away with something, they still want to just get you for something. Look at Bill Cosby. Y'all know I helped brought that up. And I always bring that up. They got this man when he was like 97 years old for crimes he did in the 70s. What the hell? That's not justice. That's not legal. It's all illegal what they doing to me. And I know Darneshia may not agree with me, but you understand what I'm saying, Darneshia?
I understand what you're saying. Like you said, hey, but I mean, hey, there are some rules though, or some laws that don't have statute of limitations. Either way, we need to focus, like you said. I mean, let's really also focus on. There's always something behind something, right? The veil is in front of it. It's the P. Diddy, it's the R. Kelly, it's the this, the that. And that's why I say a lot of times we need to move in silence, because see, you could be paying for something that someone else might have done, and maybe they're not the ones to be affected directly, but you are affected because you may have rolled with them, may have been with them, may have been just in their line or their chain of acquaintances.
And that's what's happening. And that's what's sad. And if these men are guilty, they should be locked up. Especially P. Diddy. If he's guilty, he should be locked up. But I want these men to be locked up for the crime they being charged with. If they get away with something, I don't want you to pop up other charges against them just because someone do a documentary. And with that said, until next week, peace.